Hi there, Chris Stokes from Custom Fitness Personal Training Studio, and today's topic is a bittersweet soapbox of mine, the burden of technology. Anybody with me on that one? So, I grew up in a day and age where technology was not the overwhelming burden that it is today, that it is constantly in our face. Not to age myself, but I grew up in the days of DOS, where you were doing good if you had a computer in your house, right? Now we have like 14 of them in every room. There's no escaping it. And, for me, like paper calendars, I crave them, but I know that online I'm going to get a better result because I've got it with me all the time. So I kind of in the in-between era where I don't know how to live without the paper really, but I seem to have the computer stuff. And our training business has kind of grown into that as well, to where long ago I drew stick figures for people. Now we're able to offer them a program that they can get video clips of every exercise or video full-length videos of workouts. So there's places where it becomes almost essential these days, or so we think, and there's places where maybe it's still a little overdone. I remember I had a friend that she would actually leave her cell phone at home because she figured out that with a cell phone now, we're never allowed to be without it, right? If somebody tries to call you and you don't immediately answer or respond back, then something must have happened. You probably died. The whole world's going to come to an end. So she would actually leave her cell phone at home just because she wanted an hour by herself at the grocery store to just enjoy life and not have to worry about being tethered to a device all the time. And I always gave her kudos for that. After I had kids, it was really hard to go places without my cell phone because then you think, well, what about an emergency? There's no payphones anywhere anymore. What am I going to do? Another case is that my sister's house recently got broken into, which obviously is not good. But they took computers, they took tablets, and that really put a kink in her family's life right now because her husband is a computer programmer and she does a lot of her work online, and it makes it very hard to do things. So technology is always in our face. It's always there. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I'm sure you can find cases on both. We all have our opinions on that. But where I want to focus today is on kind of the idea, and it came from my phone. So earlier this summer I had to switch phones, and I switched brands because I thought, hey, I've been with this one brand this whole time. There's some things I don't like. I want to change over to this other one. Well, that's great. It stressed me out for about a month. Still probably stressing me out some. But as we go through and we start to make these changes, what happens, right? Some days it works, some days it doesn't. You sit there and you mess with your phone, and it's a requirement pretty much. You're on your phone all the time doing things, whether it's email, calendar, checking up on people, whatever it may be. So you're on your phone. Sometimes it's dropping calls. Sometimes it doesn't send you your text messages. Sometimes the whole thing just shuts down and quits working, which might be why I got a new phone. Some of those problems require an upgrade to a new device, right? Some of those problems are things that we just have to live with. But what happens whenever that occurs? It breaks, for the most part, right? You drop a call and it won't make a call, or its memory went out and something happened and it loses some of your data. It breaks in some form or fashion. But instead of getting mad at it, telling it how badly it failed, throwing it against the wall and swearing to never use phones again, what do? We pick it up and we try again. And the next day it works, and that's great for a few days, and then something happens and it makes us mad again. But again, we don't swear it off, throw it down, tell it what a failure it is, stomp on it, rub it into the ground. We try it again. So sounding like anything else that might be happening here. So too often I hear people, and it doesn't matter whether it's about nutrition, whether it's about exercise, whether it's about having time with their family, whatever habits they're working on, when we break our rhythm as people, when we start in a new program and something goes wrong, it may not even be the end all to the whole thing. It may just be one slight mishap that happens. Something goes wrong, we throw it all away. We tell ourselves what failure we are. We tell ourselves that we're never going to be any better. We tell ourselves how awful that we must be as humans to not be able to do this simple thing. But the funny thing is that our phone is supposed to do one simple thing. It's really only supposed to call people. And half the time that doesn't even work. At least on the phones I have. Maybe because I have too many pictures on there. But it doesn't even work. But yet we keep trying. And we don't get mad at it. We don't yell at it. Okay, sometimes I yell at my phone. Let's set that aside. But as far as ourselves, we give ourselves absolutely no grace. We give ourselves absolutely no understanding, and we give ourselves no patience. Once we start a program, we are expected to start and continue that program for life perfectly, 100%, never have failure. And the problem is, I think we've confused the word fail with the word fall, because you can fall 1,000,000 times, but as long as you get back up, you have never failed. And as long as that phone turns back on to make another phone call, it has not technically failed either, right? It still does its job. So we have to start giving ourselves much more grace, much more patience, and much more support than what we even give our computer devices or our technology. Because we've got to start believing in ourselves that it's okay if we mess up. It's okay if we take a stride off course. Because ultimately, the journey is built by our behaviors, step by step. And if we've been building strong behaviors and a strong foundation as we go forward, instead of just looking for the short-term fix, if we've been building those strong behaviors, then taking a step off course merely gives us a moment to catch our breath rather than taking us backwards, right? We didn't fall through any holes. We didn't break anything. We haven't stopped anything. Even if that step takes a week to get back on, even if that step takes 2 weeks to get back on, once you've built those behaviors and those habits in your lifestyle, then you will start to be able to take those with you going forward and constantly build towards your goals. So, don't go break your phones, but instead, think about yourself today. Give yourself a little grace. Take time to have a little patience with yourself. Find a plan that makes sense for you, that isn't like jumping head first into a pool of concrete. Let's find something that is like wading into the water. Step by step, little by little, that water gets to cover you up. But it takes time to get there, and you've got to have the right plan. So if I can be of help to you on creating that plan, on finding that step-by-step approach, and having someone there to support you with kindness and give you the accountability that you need in an empathetic way, because I've been there and I understand, I'd be happy to do that. Feel free to give me a call, 806-322-3188. We'd love to help you out with your health and fitness needs. Have a great day.